everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Fluxus. And here we are with the 11th part of Python Bootcamp course. And today in our session, we are going to see about database communication in Python, like basically how we can connect our Python application or Python code with the database server. So we are going to see about it. And there is one prerequisite that you need to have the idea of MySQL. So please just be familiar with all the queries that we write to execute or to get the data from the database. So I suggest you to have the idea of at least basic idea of that, so that you will be more familiar with MySQL, and it will be easy for you to do the operations. Like basically, we are going to see about how we can create a database, how we can read, update, and delete. Okay, so basically, these four operations we are going to work with. So yeah, and if you like, the link is in the description box. We have tried to write all the things that are actually necessary for this session. So the basic queries and what is the database, like why we need to study this database management system, and the basic SQL queries. Okay, so you can go and see that before moving to this video. And if you're having idea, then well and good, let's just start with it. Okay, so basically, why do we need to have the idea of this? Why we should study about database? Okay, like we know that yes, basically, what we used to do, we used to ask the data from, like, used to take the input from the user, and we used to execute our code. Yes, but sometimes, like, what we need to do, we need to store large amount of data. So for that, what we can do, we can store it somewhere. Okay, so that somewhere is actually the database. Okay, you can use this very popular like database, that is MySQL. Okay, so we are going to, yeah, like sometimes it is called MySQL, or you can say MySQL. Okay, so yeah, Python can be used in database application. We know that. How we will do it, that we are going to see basically in this video. Okay, so this is the basic format that is being followed. Basically, basically this is our user application that we have created, that is the Python code, you can say. And this is the database where our data will be stored, or we can store there. Okay, so what we can do, we can request SQL. Okay, we can request SQL, and then from this database the response will be there, or you can say the data will be sent here. Okay, basically the SQL is any query. It is like we are asking that I want this row, or I want this specific column. Okay, it's just like that. Our data is actually structured in rows and column. Okay, in database. Okay, our like whatever the data is, that is stored, or that is arranged in row and column, and we can actually access those elements by the by just writing some queries. That is, it is like a statement you can easily understand by just reading it. Okay, you can understand that what it is actually talking about, what it wants. Okay, so that's the basic format that is being followed. Okay, now you can see this is one of the basic example how the query is. Like basically, user application will ask, I want to select data from the table in the DB. Okay, okay, so basically what is happening here, the query actually tells us that what data we want, and from which table we are talking about, and from which database. Okay, so this DB is the name of the database, then table name, and then the data that we want. Okay, so talking about the DBMS, we are going to work with MySQL. So you need to install it, and if you have not installed that in your in your PC, then you can just check the description box. There we have already given the instruction how you can actually install this MySQL. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So here you can see how the role is actually defined. Like user application is whoever have like developed that application will be known as the application developer. Okay, or the Python app. Okay, And then this is the database architecture, like database in which we have the database architecture, then administrator, then developer. Okay, so these are the basically four roles that we have. And here you can see this is the query and this is the data set that is being that is given as the response from the database. Like this is the query and this is the response. Okay, like here I have already explained that first we request from the database and then we get the response, that is the data from the database. Okay, so yeah, so for basically connecting Python from the database, there is some like we need to understand this format. If you will understand this format, your half of the concept of this topic is clear to you all. Okay, so what is this concept all about? Okay, so I will basically try to explain you the basic format that is being followed, because we are going to see about every step in detail in this session. So for now, I'll give you one basic foundation of this topic. Okay, so that is what is actually happening in this. How we are actually connecting this to, that is the Python application or the Python code that we have created, and then this is our MySQL, that is we can say the database server, we are connecting it to it. Okay, so what is happening, there is one, you can say the mediator, you can say the connector, that is actually, as the name suggests, it is actually working like a connector of MySQL and then the Python. Okay, so we are connecting this Python application with the database. Okay, so for that, what we need to do, first of all, you need to install your MySQL in your PC. Okay, so then I will just explain you these steps. Okay, first, what we need to do, we need to ask for the connection. Okay, or you need to request for the connection. Basically, we are trying to connect. Okay, we are calling this connect function, mysql.connector.connect function, and then inside this mysql you will the request will be received. Okay, there is one request received here, that is in mysql. And what we are doing in first step we are actually connecting. Okay, we are uh, calling this connect function, and here the connection request has been received. If it is like, if your connection is okay, if everything is okay, okay, your mysql is installed, your host is your host name, your username, your password is okay, okay, that is matched, then it will be connected and you will get a that will be connected basically. Okay, now what will happen, fourth step, we will call this cursor function. So I will not tell you what is this cursor function used for, because I'm going to tell you that in after, yeah, in next slide, I guess. Let me just tell you that what is the basic format. Okay, till now just remember that, yes, what we are doing first we are calling this connect function. Okay, that is we are basically trying to connect, and then here the connection request will be received. If the connection is okay, then it will be connected, then this cursor function will be called. Okay, and if yeah, after calling this cursor function, we can actually execute all the queries. Okay, like suppose I want to have this specific data. Okay, I want to have this specific data from this specific table, that is xyz suppose, and from this specific database. So what we will do, we can actually write all those things in this fifth step. Okay, for executing this execute function, we need to actually call this cursor function. Okay, that is this cursor function. Then what we will do, we will write all the queries that we need to execute, that is cursor dot. So what happened, our cursor object has been created, and from inside that, what we will do, we will actually call this execute function to execute our queries. Okay, that is, queries are basically, if you are not having any idea about MySQL, okay, so it is actually nothing but the statements that we are writing to get the data from the database. Okay, like the simple format is select, and then we write the rows or whatever. Like suppose I want to select the row, like you can say the column, or you can say select name, city, from, and then we write the table name. Okay, the table name. Okay, that's the basic format that you use to actually that's the basic query format. Okay, to actually get those column. Okay, so that's what you can write here inside this cursor dot execute function, because we know that those queries are actually written in our like in our MySQL. Okay, MySQL database server. So how we can actually implement it with this Python application? So by using this cursor and execute function, what we can do, we can actually pass the query inside this function, and then the query will be sent here. Then whatever the resulting data is, it will be sent from this database. Okay, that is MySQL, and you will actually be able to connect, or you can say the you can get, or you can extract data from our database whatever we have created. So don't worry if you are having no idea about it. Okay, because sometimes it happens that you are having no idea, and now you are like thinking that what is this database, why we are actually using it, why we are using it. I hope that question is clear now. Basically, like you have heard about AWS. Okay, like these are the terms that are actually used to actually store the data, because now it is very difficult to store data. Like whatever you are doing on your mobile, or you are using Facebook or WhatsApp, actually you are creating some data. Okay, and that data is getting stored somewhere. Now you can understand that how many data are there, and you need to store it somewhere. Okay, so there comes the role of this like basically the database, and there only we need to use this concept. Okay, and for executing or for extracting the data, we use this queries. Okay, so I hope that concept is clear. Even though if you are new to this topic, don't worry, because that's very interesting. If you are creating one application, suppose, and you don't know where to store that data. Okay, because any application requires this concept, that is database. Okay, you need to store it somewhere. Either you create any recommendation system or anything. Okay, you need to store your data to recommend or to like make better application. So that's why this is very important session, and yeah, we are going to see about it. Now this is the, let me just remove this. Yeah. So this is the basic way that we are going to follow. That is the basic steps to connect a Python application to our database. So what we need to do, first we need to import this MySQL.connector module. Okay. Now I don't think that I need to explain what is a module again and again, because I've already covered that in our previous videos. And I hope this concept is clear. Basically, module is like this MySQL dot connector is actually the Python file. Okay, that is built in. Okay, that is already there in your yeah, in Python. Okay, you don't have to write any code for it. Okay, you can directly import it and use all the functions that are there inside this MySQL dot connector. Okay, so for that you need to first check whether this is imported or not. So I will tell you how you can go in the PyCharm and you can check or you can import it. Okay, so first what we will do, we will import this module, that is MySQL dot connector. And after that, what was the second step what we were doing? And then we used to connect it, that is connection object. You can say it as create the connection object, or you can say that was the first step that we were doing. We were actually connecting it, or then the request was actually accepted from the MySQL. Okay, that is the connected was connected message, or you can say anything you can print. Okay, to check whether the connection is established or not. Okay, now then next thing what we were doing, we were creating the cursor object. Okay, object is actually used to use this or to execute the query. That is, we can actually access the execute function by just creating this cursor object. Okay, So we are going to see what is the exact use of this cursor object, but just understand this very basic concept, that is, in the third step, what we need to do, we need to create the cursor object. And then in fourth, or you can say the last part, that is, we are going to use the execute function. Okay, and we know that this execute function is inside which object, that is the cursor object, and you can pass any query inside it. Okay, create new database, or you can say select this data from this table. You can write any query. What So that's why I was telling you all that you need to have the idea of basic like way how you can write the query, how you can extract data from the database. So I would recommend you again and again, please have the basic idea, so that it will be very clear to you all. If you are having that idea, then there's no problem. This is the, you can say you are like clear with 70% of this session. Okay, because this is the basic step that we are going to follow. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the next. Yeah, first step, what we were what we need to do, we need to create the connection. Okay, now for creating the connection, there is basically simple. First, you need to check whether your import of the module, that is mysql.connector, is okay or not. Like sometimes what happens, we are not having it installed in our PC, or you can say in PyCharm. So I will tell you that how you can check or how you can install it. Okay, now to create a connection between the MySQL database and the Python application, the connect function, or you can say this connect, yeah, function, or you can say method, same thing. Function is used, that is the basics format is MySQL, that is module name. If you remember how we used to actually access the functions of specific module, that is we used to write the module name, and then what we used to write, we used to, our module name is what, MySQL dot connector. Okay, and the function that we need to use, or you can say the method that need to, yeah, we need to use to connect is what, that is the connect function. Okay, connect function. And inside this bracket, you need to pass some arguments. Okay, if you remember, inside a function, if it require any argument, or you can say the parameter to be passed, then um that is necessary. Okay, so we need to pass the argument. So mysql.connector module is used. Okay, if you remember, I have already explained this. So that's the basic way how you can actually connect. Now I will tell you what are those arguments that you need to pass to call this method. Okay, now pass the database details. What are those database details? Like host name, username, and the password. Okay, database password. I'm going to tell you about all these three terms. I'm going to implement the code, or I will show you that what is this all about. Okay. So yeah, we are going to actually create the connection. So don't worry about it. Okay. Just remember these three terms, that is the host name, username, and the password. Okay. In the method call, we need to pass that. That will be the our arguments. Okay. Three arguments. The method returns the connection object. Okay, now what will happen, it will return the connection object, or you can say that it will return the it will return if the connection is established or not, or yeah. So basically connection object will, like, if you will print whatever the connection that has happened, then it will return, basically here you can see the object that has been created. You can see this is the basic way, basically the host name, username, and then the password. This is the basic format that you will write, and this will be stored in our connection object. Or if you will print, then you will see there will be an object reference that will be printed. That is, it basically tells you that your object has been created, or you can say the connection object has been created. Okay, now let's just see how we can actually connect. Yeah, the code is here. Let me just show you. Okay, fine. So here we are. Let me use this marker. Okay. So what we are doing, we are importing the module. I guess it is clear why we are importing this module, because we need to use all the functions, or you can say we need to access the attributes inside this module. So what we are doing, we are just simply importing it. That is MySQL dot connector. That's the name. You should remember that. Now, first step was what? We need to use this connect function. Okay, that is connect method. We are calling it, and this my connection is, it is actually the connection object. Okay, it will be stored inside it. You will see how the output looks. Actually, it will show you that yes, in this reference, or you can say this is the object reference of this connection. Okay, so we are calling this connect function, and this is the basic format. You can say host is equal to local host. If you are creating your database in your database in your PC, that is, it is local host. Okay, or if you are using the you can say if you are using any cloud, or you can say AWS server for storing the data, then your host name will be actually the like that will be changed. Okay, that will be used for the AWS host name. You have to use that one. Okay, and this user equal to root, it basically actually it is the like root is the username or account that by default has access to all the commands and files on your operating system. Okay, so it is like if you are working in your PC and you want to access all your files, or yeah, all your files, then what you need to do, you need to like, it is by default stored as like user equal to root. Okay, it is by default stored like that. Okay, so that's why we are using it for like as we are creating in a local database, so that's why we are using it like that. Okay, and this password, it is actually when you install your MySQL, and while installation and when you open it, there you will be asked to set a password. Okay, and at that time, whatever the password that you have set, like it can be anything. Okay, so that will be the password that you need to write here. Okay, so it's like during the installation of like MySQL. Okay, at that time you will be asked to install this or you can say the password. Okay, so this is how you can actually connect to a local database that you have created. So we are going to basically create a new database. So don't worry about it. We are going to do the practical too. Okay. So and then what we are doing, we are creating the we are creating the cursor object. So wait a second. Yeah. So what we are doing, we are actually creating the cursor object here. Let me just yeah. This is for show database, I guess. Yeah, that was the wrong wrong slide, I guess. Yeah, so this one I hope this three parts are clear now, that is host, user and password. So let's just do the practical. Let's just see how we can actually connect to the local database that we have created. Okay, so okay, so let me just show you how you need to first install. Let's just first just go and install MySQL database server. Okay, and the link is in the description box. Don't worry about it. Okay, just go and install that. And after that, in PyCharm, you need to check whether like uh, whether that package is installed or not. Okay, so for that you need to go to new project settings, setting for new project, and then you have to go to project interpreter. Then here you will be you will see all the packages that are installed for this specific Python file. Okay, so you need to go to the file for which you are working. So this is not the right one, I guess. Yeah, yeah, I guess this one. Okay, so here you can see I have already installed, that is MySQL connector Python. Okay, and if it is not installed here, okay, then what you need to do, you need to click to this plus button. You can see this, there is a plus icon here. You need to click there, and then here you need to just type MySQL. Okay, MySQL. Okay, here you can see MySQL connector. Okay, you can click that, or you can, yeah, you should go for this MySQL connector Python. Okay, it will be installed, and after that, you can directly use this import MySQL dot connector. Okay, you have to, because that is installed, that's why it is showing blue. You have to go and click it if it is not installed there. Okay, install package, click install package, and it will be installed. Okay, So yeah, it is already installed in my PyCharm. So don't worry, installed successfully. Okay. So the latest version, it has been installed. So now what you can do, you have to just go. Just remember that inside this project interpreter, you have to go to the Python file in which you are going to work, okay? In which you are going to like actually connect to the database server, okay? So what I have done, I've installed it, installed the package. Now I can directly write import and then MySQL, okay, MySQL dot, and then if you remember that was connector, okay. So yeah, it has been done. Now I will just show you. Let me just remove this one. Again, it is repeating. Okay. Now, what I'm doing, I'm creating the connection object. Okay. If you remember, this is the connection object. What I'm doing, I'm calling the connect function. I'm using host as the local host because I'm going to create a local database inside my MySQL database server. I'm going to show you that also. Then user equal to root. That is by default. If you are working in your PC, then you can use this. Okay, then password is 1234 that I have set while installing the MySQL. That's why I'm using this. Okay, then print my connection. Now I will show you how it actually look by just printing it. Okay, so it will look something like, let me just show you. So you can see it is showing mysql.connector.connection dot mysql connection object at this. It basically show you the address where it is getting stored. Okay, that is basically shows you that yes, connection has been established. Okay, now what we will do, we will actually show you how like inside this MySQL how it is working. Okay, so this is how when you create one connection, it will look like. Here you can see what we are doing. Like this is my MySQL workbench. When you will install the MySQL database server, then what will happen? This will be there. Okay, this will be installed. Just follow the instructions that are there in description box. You will install. You will get all these things. Okay, so when we go to this, that is we will see all the connections that are there, okay, that are created. Okay, fine. So now if you want to create some now here also you can see, let me just show you the properties, edit connection. Okay, now I will show you what are the things that what were those arguments that we were passing while creating the connection. Now if you remember, this is my basically this is my connection name. Okay, this is my connection name when I create. Okay, and this is like yeah, this is the main thing, that is host name. Okay, host name we always write like host is equal to local host. So this is what it is. You can actually change it. Okay, you can change it, like you can name it whatever you want to. Okay, so that will be changed, but by default here you can see it is like written local host, and this is our port number. Okay, this is username, it is also by default saved as root. Okay, that's why we were writing root, and password. Now here I have already stored one password here while when I have installed it for the first time when I was opening this like my SQL workbench. At that time it has asked me to create one password to create one connection, and at that time I have like written one password, so typed one password. So let me just show you how you can change it. So if you want to change it, you can type here, okay, whatever password you want. You can see username is root. So this is how you can actually change it. Okay, and this is how a connection looks like. Okay, whenever you create one connection. Now if you want to create one connection, another connection manually, you can click this plus icon. Okay, and you can name the connection name. Here you can see the host name is changed, and now it is 127.0.0.1. Now in place of like here you have to change it, and here if you want to connect to that specific connection that is already created, then you have to type that host name. Okay, that is this 127.0.0.1, and you can change the password too. Okay, so I guess now the logic of this connection is clear. You can create it, or yeah, you can use it, the created one. Okay, and you can connect to this. So you can see by clicking to this, you will see how it actually looks. Here you can write the queries. Okay, queries to extract the data. And here you can see this is our database. Okay, this is one database, this is another database. Inside the same connection we have two databases. Okay, yeah, two databases, and inside this database, that is ABC, we have one table. Okay, and the table name is employee. Okay, inside this nothing, like rows and columns, everything is like arranged like that. This is rows, this is column, this is foreign keys, triggers. So if you are familiar with the concept of database management system, then you won't be facing any problem. And if you're still having some doubt, then just go and read the I have like the in the description box we have attached one file. The Notion page is there. You can go and read about this MySQL and database management system. So basic requirements are there, like basic things are totally like we have tried to make you understand about all the basic concepts about it. Okay, so again moving to our like the cursor object, how we can actually create the cursor object. So our second step was to create a cursor object. Now why do we need it? Okay, so basically it facilitates us to multiple separate working environments through the same connection. Now, you have seen that I have created one connection, and inside that you can have multiple separate working environment. Okay, and we can create cursor object by calling the cursor function. I'm going to show you that. Don't worry about it. The important aspect, like important thing of like why do we actually need this cursor object, if someone asks you, just tell them one point, and that point is that for executing the cursor object is an important aspect for executing queries to the databases. Okay, like basically we have one execute function. Okay, there is one execute function. So for using that specific function we need to create an object of that is cursor. Okay, and also for what, one more point was that for separate working space inside the like working environment in the same connection with the same connection. Now I hope what is the logic of connection is you are clear with that. Okay, whenever we import the SQL connector and we need to establish or we need to create a database, then first what we need to do, we need to connect it. That is, we need to connect the Python file to the that is SQL server. Okay, so for that what we will do, we need to connect, use the connect function, and inside that we pass the host names, username, then password, and then we create this cursor object. Now how this cursor object is created? So first of all we need to use the uh, connect, that is the connection object name, that is con. Here you can see in the last slide I have shown you how we were creating the connection object. So the connection object dot cursor function, it will create the cursor object. Okay, so I guess it is clear. Let me show you the code. Okay, so you can see what is happening. We are importing the same line. I don't think I need to explain it again and again. Here, one more thing, the important thing I've already explained, that if you want to connect to the specific database, okay, if you want to connect to, or you can say, if you are connecting to a connection that is already there, inside that we have a like we have already created one database, then you can write that yes, I want to connect to that specific database. The name is MyDB. Okay, that is already there. Okay, so you can use this to connecting to that specific database. Okay, operating my connection. I hope it is clear now. Now what we are doing, we are actually creating the cursor object, that is mycon, that is the name of the connection object dot cursor, and it will create the cursor object. Then we are printing it. Okay, so this is how the cursor object is getting printed. I hope you can just check it out. It's very easy, and I hope now it is clear that why we are actually using this cursor object. Okay, now we can show databases. Okay, we can show if there is one built-in database that we have already created. You cannot say that it is built in. That is, I wanted to say that it is a database is already created inside a connection. Okay, I have already created one database and I want to show it. So the simple query that we write like to the simple query that we write for printing the database or to show the database, what we do in SQL query, it is show database. Okay, so this is the query that we write in SQL. Okay, this is the query that we write to extract or to show the database in SQL. Okay, so how we can do it in Python, how we can use it. So if you remember, I've already explained that to execute any query or to extract the data from the database, what we can do, first we have created the cursor, sorry, first we have created the connection, okay, connection object, then we created the cursor object. Now it's time to execute our query. Okay, so how we can do that? Just pass this query. You need to have the idea of query, that is, if you, what you want to do, I want to show the database. So for that, what is the query in SQL? That's why I was telling you in the starting only that it's very important to have the idea of SQL. Okay, that is the query to execute or to extract the data. Okay, so this is the query that we write in MySQL. Okay, MySQL. That's why now I need to pass this, or I need to do it by the connector. Okay, that is the MySQL connector module. So what I will do, here you can see this is the basic format. I don't think I need to explain it till here. What I'm doing, I'm using try and except clause. Okay, inside this try, what I'm doing, I'm using this execute function. Now I have already explained that this execute function is actually used to execute the queries. Okay, whatever the query that we want to execute or we want to use of MySQL, you can pass it here. You can see the same line that we were using in MySQL, that is show databases. We are just printing or we are just writing that inside this. Okay, what it will do, it will actually execute the MySQL queries. Okay, so what we are doing, we are calling this cursor object. Okay, and then we are calling this function, that is execute show databases. Okay, if there is some error that is thrown in this try clause, so if you remember error, I have already covered this part, that is try and except clause, how it is used, how it is working. If any error is shown here, then it will go to except part, and there this rollback function is used. Rollback function, don't worry, we are going to see about it. It basically, whatever has been done, it uh, it just reverse that, or it's like undo. Okay, it's just like that. Okay, so this inside this exception we are doing that. Okay, now what we are doing for x in cur, that is this cursor object, for x in this cursor object, print x. Okay, that is we are actually, this cursor is used for what? It is actually used to access the databases. Okay, to access the databases, and inside that we can access all the rows. Okay, all the elements. So by this we can print the that is table. Okay, so let me just show you, and then we are closing this connection. Okay, let me just show you how you can actually do it. Practical. Let me show you how it is working. So I have already written the code. Like here you can see import. I'm importing it. I don't have to explain it again and again. This line, what we are doing, we are creating the cursor object. Okay, this is the connection object, cursor object. Now what we need to do, execute the command, or you can say execute the SQL query. Okay, inside this try, what we are doing, we are creating a new database. Okay, so whatever the connection, first we have connected to that connection. Okay, we have created the connection object, and then execute create database. What is this query all about? This query tells us that we need to create a database. Okay, it's very simple, just like the way we are actually speaking. We are, yeah, it's very simple. You can see by just reading, you can understand that we are creating a database, and the name of the database is python db2. Okay, that's the name. You can name it anything. Okay, like suppose I change it and I name it like Fluxus, suppose. Okay, I have created one database, that is Fluxus. Okay, now what I'm doing, DBS, I'm creating, getting the list of all the databases which will show, including the new database. Okay, the new database is Fluxus now, so ignore this line. So what I'm doing, I want to show all the list of all the databases that are there inside that connection. Okay. So what I can do, I will just use this. Like there may be chances that inside that connection, more than one databases are there. Okay. So for that, what I will do, I will first check. So I'm using this query. This query will list out all the name of all the databases that are there. Now, if something goes wrong here inside this part of the code, or some error has occurred, then this exception will work, and this is basically rollback. It will undo whatever has been done. Okay. Now, for X in cur, basically the cursor object. Okay. What we are doing, we are printing the list. Basically, what is happening inside this cursor object, it is actually used, this cursor object is actually used to print all the elements. Okay. That is, it will print this, the first it will execute it, and then this show database, it will print that. Okay. Let me just show you how it works. Okay. So I'm just going to run this. So after running this, you can see what is happening. Let me just remove this. Okay. So you can see all the list of that, you can see all the databases, name of the databases are there. And it is actually a tuple where here you can see ABC is one database, Fluxus is the database that we have created, information schema, MySQL, then performance schema, then Python DB2 that I have already created in Sys. So I will show you in the MySQL workbench too how it has been created and where it has been located. So this is my local database that I have local host in which I'm working. So yeah, and this is my only connection. You can create one more than one connection. You can have it. You can create it from here. This plus icon. Okay. So I'm working in this connection. So I will click here, and you can see by going here inside, you can see there are so many databases, that is ABC, Fluxus, then Python DB2, and then this is, that is, these are the databases that are there. And here you can see the name of those databases. Okay. So that's the way how you can show the database and you can create a database. Okay. It's very simple. Yeah. I guess there will be no problem in this. And let's just move to another topic. We have created it. Yeah, we have created a new database. So I don't think I have to explain it again and again. Next, we need to create the table inside our database. So actually, all these things has is already covered in database management system. And if you're familiar with that, then you will be having no, like you will face no problem with this. Okay. So what is happening? Only the thing is that you have to write all the queries that you write in SQL, MySQL. You have to write those query inside that execute function. Okay. That's so simple. You can understand now that yeah, so we can create the new table by just writing create table statement of SQL in our database Python DB. The table employee will have 4 columns. Okay. Now now comes the question part, that is, now what I'm going to do, I have created a database. Like I have created Fluxus, but like the database was created by the name of Fluxus, but here I have written as Python DB. Okay. The table employee will have, now inside that I have created one table, that is create table. Okay. Inside that database, table name can be anything. Here the table name is employee, suppose. So employee will have 4 columns, that is name, ID, salary, and department. Okay. Department ID initially. So for creating that table, what we will do, we will write this query. This is the query that you use in MySQL, that is create table. First, we are writing that yes, we need to create a table, and then table name. This will be the table name. You can write it anything that you want. This is the table name. Now inside this, you need to write, or you need to at least have one column to create a table. This is very important point. Sometimes people just, like students do this mistake that they write the table name, they just write that create table, table name, but inside that table you need to have at least one column. Okay. So that's why what you will do, you will write all the name of the columns, and you will tell that what kind of like values will be there. So like here you can see name is the column name, and then varchar is the like data type. Not null will tell us that yes, it should not be null. Okay, it should not be empty. Okay, then id, and then int primary key. Now these are the concept of database management systems, that's why I'm skipping it, but I will try to like explain it so that it will be clear to you all. Now id is actually the primary key, that means by the it should be unique. Okay, primary key simply means that it should be unique, because by the help of primary key only, what we do, we actually connect to table, or you can say we actually refer to that table. So that's why primary key is very important, and it should not be null. Okay, then we have another column that is salary, and this is the data type, not null, it should not be null. Department id, integer type, not null. Okay, see, it is very simple. Okay, so yeah, that's our MySQL query. Now what I need to do, it's very simple. I think now you can like just by just seeing this, you can understand that yes, what I need to do, I just need to pass this query inside the execute function. Okay, so the same way here, what is happening, try and clause. Okay, try and accept clause. Okay, what we are doing, we are writing the that is my same thing. I don't think I have to write it again and again. Cursor object, then what I'm doing, execute function. Inside that, whatever the query is, SQL query is, you have to write that and accept rollback. So by this, what will happen, this employee table will be created and these columns will be added inside it. Now this is how you can create a table. Okay, so yeah, I will show the practical at last only, so that everything will be clear. Let's just see the concept, because I don't think it is a bit difficult that much, because you just have to pass the MySQL query inside the execute function. Okay, alter table, that means you need to change something in the table, or you need to update the table. Okay, for that, we can do, sometimes we may forget to create some columns, or we may need to update the table schema. So for that, what we need to do, we need to use this alter. Okay, that is, we can alter the table, use to alter the table schema if required. Here we will add the column branch name to the table, like whatever the columns that were there. Now I need to add one column. So what I will do, I will write that is column name, that is alter, then table. Okay, we need to tell that what we are altering, like what we are changing. So alter, then table name, because that is important. So table name, then what we are doing inside this alter, what we need to do, we need to add one column. So that's why we are specifying that add, then the column name, what is the data type, varchar, and then not null, that is, it should not be null. I guess it's very simple. By just reading this, you can understand. Now what is the next step, I don't think I need to repeat it again and again. Just pass this MySQL query in the execute function. Okay, so yeah, so you can see what I'm doing, just passing it in my that is whatever the cursor object that has been created, then calling the execute function, and then yes, and writing it. Okay, so it will be updated, you can check it out. Next, we have this insert function. I'm trying to just make you familiar with these basic operations, so that if you are not having idea about MySQL 2, then also you will not face any problem, because I'm trying to explain as much as possible. Okay. So the insert into statement is used to add a record to the table. Now, what is this record? Record is basically the row. Okay, you can understand it like that. Till now, what we have done, we have added columns, but this record is actually the row. Okay, in Python, we can mention the format specifier, that is mod as, in place of values. Okay, now what's that? I will tell you. Okay, we provide the actual values in the form of tuple in the execute method of the cursor. Let's just see how it is actually working. What we are doing, we are actually adding the rows. Okay, so here you can see what we are doing. I don't think I need to explain it till here. Now what I'm doing, whatever the query was, okay, whatever the query that we were passing in execute function, like it sometimes become difficult to write it again and again. So what we can do for our convenience, okay, we can assign that query, okay, whatever the query is, to a variable. That is, here I have done SQL, okay, SQL, and I'm assigning the that is the query, that is insert into, that is the table name employee. Then what we are doing, I'm assigning, like I'm writing all the columns name, that is the column name is name, ID, salary, department ID, and branch name. Now I need to insert a row, that is a new row is to be inserted. So this order is very important, okay, just mark it out, that the order in which you are writing, you will write the values also in the same order, okay. So the values are, here you can see, this is mod s, mod s, mod s. Now what does that mean, I will tell you. This is basically, it is working like, you can say, it is actually, here we are passing the values. So for that time, you are just writing this mod s, mod s, mod s. I have already explained that why we are using it. Let me just show you here. Here it is, we can mention the format specifier models in place of values. In place of values, writing the values, what we are doing, we are just using this format specifier. You can see the values are written here, the rows values, and the order is very important. If, like, suppose I have written the column as name, ID, salary, and this like this, okay, and by mistake I have written the order of the row as like 110, then John, then this, then it will cause some problem. Why? Because in place of ID you will have John, in place of name you will have 110, and it will show, it will cause problem, obviously, okay. So here is our value, okay, and what we will do, in place of writing the execute function and then passing the query, what we will do, we will just pass the variable, that is SQL, which stores the query, and here is this format specifier, and here what we are doing, we are passing the value. So what will happen, this John will go here, this 110 will go here, okay. This is how it is working actually, okay. Yeah. So this will, I don't think it will, it will show, or it will make you in any problem, it will cause any problem to you, because it's very simple. Just the way what we are doing, we are just writing the query inside a variable, that is SQL, and then passing the values in the value variable. In place of writing the value, what we are doing, we are writing the format specifier, okay. So basically, this row ID, okay, in SQL, a particular row is inserted by an insertion ID, or you can say, like, as soon as you insert a row, there will be one ID assigned to it, and that ID is actually called as the row ID, okay. So we can get the last inserted row ID by using attribute last row ID of the cursor object. Just the same way like we did in our last slide. Like, let me just show you. Yeah. Here you can see this cur, or you can say the cursor object dot row count. It shows how many rows has been inserted. Okay, how many records have been inserted. The same way we can use this. That is, we can use this last row ID attribute. That is cur dot. You can say the cursor object dot last row ID, and it will show you that we can get the last inserted row ID by using this attribute. Okay. So this is how it is. Like, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just writing getting the row ID by, like, you can see dot row count, like how many rows has been inserted, record inserted, and ID. We can get the ID, that is row ID of the last row inserted. So by this, that is dot last row ID. So I guess I don't have to explain it much. It is very clear. Yeah. Let's do the another operation, that is read operation. Now this operation in which we are going to actually extract the any row, or you can say any data. How we can do that? So select statement is used to read the values from the database. We can restrict the output of a selected query, or you can select query by using various clause in SQL. like where, limit, or etc. Okay, so if you are having idea of SQL, then you must be familiar with how we can actually extract the data, that is by using this select statement. We can tell or we can clearly explain that what is the data that we want, what are the rows that I want. So select, and then the you can say the column name. Okay, and then from which table, from where, if you want to apply any condition, then you can use this where clause. Okay, so we are going to see about it. And also Python provides this fetch all method. Okay, fetch all method returns the data stored inside the table in the form of rows. Okay, so it returns the data that is inside the table in the form of rows. Okay, we can iterate the result to get the individual rows. Okay, we can also use this for loop to actually get to know about all the rows, all the individual rows. So this is the basic way how you can do it. Let me just show you. Select star. Now this star symbol is for all. Okay, if you are not familiar with SQL queries, then it will be problem, but I will try to explain it. Okay, star is basically the all, that is all columns. It is basically telling us that we are going to read all the columns from this table, that is employee. Okay, now I want to fetch the rows. Okay, from I want to fetch the rows from the cursor object. Now I have created the cursor object, cur dot fetch all. It will read all the rows one by one. Okay, printing the result. Now I want to print the result, so I have assigned all the rows inside this. Okay, so I will print one by one, that is for x in result, then print x. Any problem, then roll back. Okay, so this is how you can actually, you can say, you can access all the rows. And first what we were doing, we here you can name the column if you want to specify that I want to access this specific column, that is name, suppose. Okay, I want to use only name column, then what you can do, you can write here select name from employee. Okay, so this is how it is working. Reading specific columns. Okay, here I've already explained. We can read the specific column by mentioning their names instead of using the star symbol. Okay, so star is for all. If you want to access all the columns, then you can use star. Okay, then fetch one, as it was like the early one was fetch all. The same way fetch one is used to fetch only one row. If you want to fetch only one row, okay, then you can use this fetch one method. Okay, it returns the next row of the result set. Okay, so what happens here, you can see execute select name, ID, salary. What we are doing, we are telling that I need to focus only for these columns, that is name, ID, and salary. From which table? The table name is employee. Okay, now result is equal to cur, that is the object created, cursor object created, dot fetch one. This is the function fetching the first row from the cursor object. Okay, this cursor object is actually reading all the rows. So what I have done, I have written fetch one, and then this will only focus on the first row. Okay, print result, I don't have to iterate it. Why? Because I'm just focusing in this result, we have only one row data. So obviously if I will write only result, then it will print that one row data, and I don't have to iterate it to get all the results. Okay, and except we can roll back. So see, now you are actually, you can do all the operations by just connecting. I don't think that now you are going to face any problem while connecting your Python application with the database. You can actually create a local database. You can create manually also a connection. You can create a connection and change the host name. You can create to the cloud servers. Okay, you can do that too. Okay, using where clause. Now where clause is basically used to add any condition. Okay, like suppose I want the data only if those data are greater than 10, then this where clause can be used to add those conditions. Okay, we can restrict the result produced by the select statement by using this where clause. This will extract only those columns which satisfy the where condition. Okay, printing the names that starts with J. Okay, so we can do that. Let me just show you how we can write that. Okay, let me show you. So you can see what I'm doing. I have fetch all the rows. Okay, fetch all means all the rows have been used and it is assigned in this variable, that is result. Okay, from which columns? The columns are name, ID, and salary. Okay, and what is the condition that we have applied? The condition is we are using, obviously the table is employee table name, where the name like J mod, it means it starts from J. Okay, and after that it can be anything. Okay, it's from start from J, and after that it can be anything. Okay, so that's how you use in SQL, that's how you add this condition, that is any name that is starting from or starts with J, then you can write like this, or you can say A mod, that means starting with A, B mod, that means starting with B, and if you write like this B, that means ends with B. Okay, that's how, that's very simple. That's us, that's some basic concept of SQL. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm making a format in which I want. So print name, ID, and salary. This is the format that I want. Now I want all the values. Okay. So what I'm doing for row in result, that is mod S, mod D, and mod D. This is format specifier, basically telling us that name, that is string type. So that is row 0. Okay. Then integer type ID. So row 1. Okay. Yeah, and then salary, that is integer type, that is row 2. Okay, so this, by this what is happening, our like that is result, in result we have all the values, or you can say all the rows stored. Okay, so the that is what you can say, this 0 will take you to the 0th index value. This will take you to the first index value. This will take you to the second index value. Now, indexing means, I hope now the concept of tuple is clear. Okay. If it is clear, then it will help you. Okay. Except rollback. Okay. The same thing is happening here. Yeah. So I hope it is clear. Update operation. Now, if you want to update anything in your, like in your table, okay, so what I can do, update set statement is used to update any column inside the table. Okay, the following SQL query is used, that is update, then the table name, set name is equal to Alex. So what we are doing, we are updating the column name. That was earlier, it was name, the name was itself the name. Okay, and now I want it to be Alex. Okay, where ID equal to name equal to Alex, where ID equal to 110. That means in the name column, it will be Alex if the ID is equal to 110. Okay, simply means, like suppose I have this column that is name. Okay, in this column I have this ID. Suppose it is like it is suppose Rohit. Okay, it is suppose Sanya. Okay, and some names are there. Okay, and here in this ID I have 105, I have 110. Now what I'm doing, I'm setting this name equal to Alex. Name will be updated to Alex if the ID is 110. That is, here ID is 110. Now this will get updated to Alex. Okay, the column name is name. Okay, and inside that we are updating it. Okay, so yeah. Delete operation means we want to delete any, like we want to delete a specific record, or you can say a specific row. Then what I can do, I can add that specific condition for which I want to delete that row. So what I'm doing, delete from the table name where ID equal to 110. It means the row in which the ID is 110, that, and that specific row will be deleted. Okay, so these are some basic concept of SQL. Yeah, join operation. Okay, so basically this join app operation is used to join two tables, two or more tables. What we can do, so basically this join is actually divided further. So we are going to see about that too. We can combine the columns from two or more tables by some common columns. Okay, there should be one common column. By the help of that only we can actually join two or more tables. Okay, so let me just show you. So here you can see what I'm doing. Select employee dot ID. It means from employee table, what I'm doing, I'm using this ID, that is ID column. Then from employee table, I'm using this name column. From employee table, I'm using this salary column, and then I have another table that is departments, and I have this department ID, that is the you can say that is the column of that department table. Then another, this one. Now what we are doing, we are from what we are doing from departments. Okay, these are the columns that we are using. From departments, join employee on employee, so that will be common. Okay, so there's some error here. So what happens here, this will join two tables, that is employee table and the department table, by what, by this column, common columns, as I have already explained this part. So yeah, like here you can see I have told you that we can combine the columns by two or more table by using some common columns. Okay, so right join is the same concept like we have studied. We You must be knowing it if you are having the idea of SQL. So basically what we are doing, right join shows all the columns of the right hand side table as shown, as we have two tables in the database. Okay, that is we have Python, that is departments and employee. Okay, suppose we have two tables inside this database, that is Python DB. We have this database, inside that we have, let's show you, Python DB is the database. Okay, inside that I have two table, that is departments and we have employee. Okay, and what I'm doing, I'm joining them. Okay, so for joining I need to have some common columns. Okay, by the help of that we can join. Now for doing right joining, okay, like normal joining, what we are doing, we are joining it by some common columns that are there. Okay, by the help of that. But by the help by this concept, that is right join, it simply means we do not have any employee in the table who is not working for any department, employee for which department ID is null. Okay, so that means we can have like a right join basically means all the element, all the columns of departments, but only the common columns of employee. Okay, let me just show you it, show you like what is it actually means. Let me make it like this. So suppose this is my department. Okay, so this is how the right join concept is. And so basically we have inner join, right join, left join. Okay, left join is like this is left join, this is right join. Okay, and we have inner join. Okay, that is the common columns that we have. Full join will have all the rows, all the columns. Okay, so yeah, that's the concept, basic concept. I'm just explaining the basic concept because that's totally like if you are having the idea of SQL, then you will face no problem. Okay, okay. Left join, as I've already explained, left hand side table covers all the data from left hand side table. It has just opposite effect to the right join. Okay, performing transaction. Now this is our last topic and it's very important. Transactions ensures the data consistency of the database. We have to make sure that more than one application must not modify the records while performing the database operation. Like basically, suppose I have two Python files. Okay, and they are accessing the same database. Okay, same database. Okay, so they should not modify the records at the same time. Okay, we should like consider that point. Let me just show you what are the points that we need to consider. The transaction have the following properties. Now the first one is atomicity, then consistency, isolation, and durability. Okay, either transaction completes or nothing happens. Okay, it is not like I want to send 500 rupees to another account and it's not like suddenly some problem occurred and only 250 rupees have been sent and the left is like it's not done. It should not be like that. Okay, so it should be atomicity should be considered. If a transaction contains four queries, then all these queries must be executed or none of them must be executed. Okay, now consistency means The database must be consistent before the transaction starts, and the database must also be consistent after the transaction is completed. Okay. Isolation intermediate results of a transaction are not visible outside the current transaction. Okay. That is yeah, I guess it is understandable. Okay. Durability, once a transaction was committed, the effects are persistent even after system failure. Okay. So these are the basic points. Like if you have the idea of MySQL, then you won't be facing any problem. Last, some important methods, that is commit method. Python provides this commit method which ensures the change made to the database consistently takes place. Okay. The syntax to use the commit method is given below. That is whatever the connection object that you have created, dot commit, and that will make sure that it is consistent. Okay. So rollback method, we have used it again and again in our, like while coding. So it is used to revert the change that are done to the database. This method is useful in the sense that if some error, like we always use it in exception clause, inside exception clause, during the database operation we can roll back the transaction to maintain the database consistency. Okay. So I don't think I have to explain much. I've already explained these things. Closing the connection, it is very important to close the connection. We need to close the database connection once we have done all the operations regarding the database. Python provides the close method, that is to close the connection. Okay. Just the same way we have seen in file handling to how we open a file and how we close a file. So today in this session you have the idea like how you can actually connect the Python application to the database server. I've also tried to explain the SQL queries. If you are not having the idea, then also you can understand this video, like you can have the idea of how you can actually connect the database server, and you can actually store your data. You can create a new database, how you can create a table, how you can create a connection, and then execute the create, update, read operations, delete operations. Okay. So I guess it was a helpful session for you all. Thank you. Thank you so much.